Welcome to today's deep dive. Imagine, eating your absolute favorite burger, going to sleep, and waking up at 1 a.m. completely covered in hives.
Oh man, yeah, that is a terrifying scenario.
Right. And if you love the outdoors, today's mission is going to completely change how you view a simple tick bite. We're looking at a fresh stack of research on alpha-gal syndrome, or AGS.
Yeah, and it's wild because we're finding out how it's expanding, hiding in unexpected foods, and even secretly impacting our hearts.
Exactly. So if you're tracking AGS, you probably think of the Lone Star tick in the US. But right off the bat, we have this fascinating case out of Western Australia.
Right, yeah. This 52-year-old man had severe delayed anaphylaxis, but his trigger wasn't beef. It was kangaroo meat.
Kangaroo meat.
Wow. Yeah, and the tick wasn't the Lone Star. It was a totally novel species called Ixus australiensis. So, I mean, the map is definitely expanding globally.
Right, so it's not just a regional anomaly anymore, but what I really want to unpack is that signature delay.
Yeah, the timing, yeah.
Right, because we know AGS reactions typically take like 2 to 6 hours to kick in. Why the massive delay? It's like an allergic time bomb.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to, well, the lipid hypothesis. Basically, alpha-gal sugars aren't just floating around freely.
Okay.
They're carried on glycolipids, which are fat molecules. And fats, they have a completely different digestion pathway than proteins.
So they take the slow freight route instead of the high-speed commuter train.
Exactly. They have to be slowly broken down in the gut and then packaged into these transport vehicles called chylomicrons.
Which eventually convert into LDL particles, right, to travel through the bloodstream.
You got it. So your immune system's mask sells the guards that actually trigger the allergy. They're just sitting there waiting.
Waiting hours until those slow-moving fat particles finally show up. That makes so much sense.
It does. And, tracking that slow fat digestion perfectly explains the findings in some brand new research from molecular nutrition.
Oh, the dairy study.
Yeah, we're seeing that like 10 to 20% of AGS patients also react to dairy. But, and this is key, they aren't reacting to liquid milk proteins like whey or casein.
Right, it's the fat.
Exactly. The alpha-gal is specifically bound to middle fat globule proteins.
Which explains why someone might be totally fine drinking skim milk, but they end up with hives after drinking whole milk. You're just getting more fat globules.
Precisely. And the research highlights this specific one called xanthine oxidase.
Why that specific protein now?
Well, xanthine oxidase is an enzyme that actually helps form the physical membrane around the fat droplets in milk. It keeps them suspended.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and because it's a structural part of that membrane, it's heavily coated in alpha-gal sugars. So with high-fat dairy, you get a massive dose of those coated membranes.
Okay, wait, let me connect the dots here. If these alpha-gal sugars are successfully hitching a ride on LDL cholesterol through the bloodstream,
Yeah,
are they actively damaging our blood vessels when they pass through the arteries?
that is the absolute most critical question in the research right now. And yes, studies confirm a clear link between alpha-gal sensitization and coronary atherosclerosis.
So plaque buildup in the arteries.
Exactly. Here's how it works. When those alpha-gal coated LDL particles enter the artery wall, the immune system flags them as foreign invaders.
So it launches an inflammatory response right inside the vessel wall.
Yes. Immune cells called macrophages rush in to consume those flagged LDL particles.
Yeah.
But they essentially gorge themselves, die, and just get stuck there.
And over time, that buildup of dead immune cells and fat hardens into arterial plaque.
Right. And honestly, the most concerning part of these studies is that this arterial damage is happening in people who routinely eat meat, but never show obvious allergic symptoms.
Wait, really? So you don't even need to break out in hives?
Nope. You can be totally sensitized, have zero outward reactions, and your immune system is just silently attacking your artery walls for years.
That is wild.
It really forces us to look past the surface level symptoms and understand, the deeper vascular impacts of our environment.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Whether it's tracing a reaction to the xanthine oxidase in your high-fat dairy, or recognizing the hidden mechanism driving coronary plaque, a tiny tick bite can completely rewire how your immune system handles mammalian fat.
Right. Knowledge is most valuable when we apply it to the bigger picture of our health.
Exactly. Which leaves us with a final thought to mull over. If a simple tick bite can silently trigger heart disease by making us react to everyday mammalian sugars, what other unexplained chronic diseases might actually be driven by unrecognized environmental exposures? Just something to think about the next time you head out into the woods.